Welcome to day number 2 of the PEL Promo Week. 4 spots up for grabs in the PUBG Europe League Phase 1 of 2020. Red Eye gave you all the details. My name is Tickle, and we're now going to break down all the gameplay you've seen, all these teams, with my incredible desk all the way from PEL. We've got Avenger and Frost with us. Let's jump into this straight away. 4 spots up for grabs. This is the dream for any professional player. This is where you want to go to the PEL. And yet, halfway through, 10 games have been played. We haven't really seen anyone stand up and kind of put their flag in the ground and say, we're going.
We've only seen, one day stand-up performance, and then the other day kind of flopped. Timbers, the first day did amazing. Yesterday, 7 did amazing, coming back from a 13th place and now in first. So today is really the day. If they want to set them up for the win, today's the day to make sure that they're going to be on top and within the reach or in the top 4 going into tomorrow.
We have a few teams that is actually doing pretty decently throughout the days, but so far it's not good enough though. It's still just below average, I'd say, and that's not good enough to actually stand out. And as you can see here with the standings, almost every team can still make it. It's anybody's game still.
12 teams came from contenders, the top 12 teams. The bottom 4 teams from Phase 3 of PEL are here. They are PEL teams. They played with the best in the business. Why are they not dominating the kill feed?
Because they were also bottom 4 in PEL. So obviously, I think it talks to the depth of the contenders in Europe as well. We have some really, really good players all over Europe, all over CIS and all over EMEA. And to be fair, like here we see the 12 best from our contenders and obviously the bottom 4 from PEL. And it just talks to how good the rest are as well. Everybody is in that kind of the chance to make it into PEL. Yes, our PEL teams, we have some amazing PEL teams, especially our top teams that are very, very consistent throughout the phases. But here, it really shows the depth of the contenders and the EU region in general, I think.
If you want to be a PEL team, so you got to make the right moves, you got to make the right calls, take the right rotations. This is stuff that we see some potential in some of the teams, but at the same time, we also see them making a lot of mistakes. And those mistakes, those cost them the games. And it's not just one mistake, but it could be 2 in one game, for example. And it could be very small things. It's down to timing for a few seconds. Are we going to go now, or are we going in 5 seconds? That could be game-breaking.
Completely off topic, sort of. N47, they came from Phase 2 promos, went into PEL. They're one of those success stories of the path to pro. Incredible performance for them, so it proves that these contenders teams can get into PEL and pop off.
I definitely think so. It's also a different game when you have here it's also a different meta as well. 20 games here is very different to how you will play over 90 games in PEL. So one of these guys that are here could definitely come and go into PEL, into Phase 1 of our 2020 season and pop off as well. But it's a very different meta, it's a very different mindset, and here a lot of other stuff happens as well. I talked with a lot of the guys, and looking at the leaderboard, one good game can put, I would say, all teams except for maybe 1 or 2 into the top 4 or close to it. With a 15, 16, 17 kill game can put them straight into the top 4. So it's extremely open, it's extremely even. And I think that's what you have to take out from this is all these teams are extremely even. But if you want to make it into PEL, you have to show that you're better than the rest more than just one day. Now it's day 3. If these guys want to either stay consistent in the top 4 or jump into the top 4 hours the day to really show that.
I mean, we have a few teams like Tornado, Tryhard, ENCE that is doing pretty decent, but it's not good enough. They're not popping off hard enough to actually make it to the top right now. And that's what we want to see from the teams. We want to see them make the right moves, making sure that they grab all the points and get to the top there.
We're moving into the arena now. You can see these contenders teams getting ready. For some of these players, the first time that they get to sit in those DX Racer chairs, the first time they get to play with those Samsung Curve monitors. Of course, the PEL players, all the pros, they play on those monitors. They use those chairs. Before we jump into this first game, who are the teams you think are going to be contesting those 4 PEL spots?
I think what we've seen from 7 and Timber so far is good. As I said, like you can't just have a one good day performance and expect you can kind of limit with the rest. You have to really have 2 good days here to make sure you're in top 4. Looking at the leaderboard, without putting any kind of outside expectation from other than what we've seen of these 10 games here, you would expect Tempo's Unity, Tornado Engine 7, of course, to be there. But I actually think that 2 of these teams that are currently in the top 4 is not going to make it. I'm not sure who. It could be Tempest, it could be Unity, it could be 7. But we'll see. I think ENCE is one of the teams that could jump back into the top 4 because they've been extremely consistent, and I think they just have that experience to do so. And also this guy, maybe, we saw him, Wanderer, from PG18. We saw him with a standard performance in our phase. He's one of the only players in PEL to actually have a 10-kill game, and therefore I actually owe him a steak dinner. I'm going to take him out tonight.
I'm honestly, I want to see more from PG18 and Train Hard. I think those two teams have the potential to actually make it for the top 4 here. But it also comes down, right now they've had pretty decent games. It's not over the top, but it's not too bad either. But we want to see a little bit more coming out from them. Not just talking about getting all the frags or winning a game, but we want to see them be consistent throughout all the games.
You need to tell him no steak dinner if he doesn't get a chicken dinner tonight.
No, today is, or now this day is whether he's going to be deciding, is he going to get a chicken dinner or is he going to get a steak dinner? He can't get both.
He can't have both.
No, so if he wins some games today, or they do really well today, or win a game, I'll give him a chicken instead. a good grilled chicken, roasted chicken. Man.
Before we jump into the action, don't forget you can ask the desk and the casters anything you want. Just jump onto Twitter and use the hashtag AskPEL. It is a shorter format than what these guys are used to in Contenders, what they're used to in PEL. How do you change your game plan now?
It's all about adapting yourself to the teams you're playing against. Now you had 10 games, you know what the teams are doing more or less. You need to start focusing on your own game and making sure that you are adapting yourself to them.
We're getting down to the last 2 days, the second last day of competition for PEL spots. You cannot rest now, you're gonna have to stand up. Let's head on over to our casters. Pansy, D-Man, let's get into the first game.
Thank you very much. Yes, here we go. We are at the halfway stage. Now it is time to set your career in action. We've all seen the circles, the deadliness that has happened over in Korea. Congratulations to the final team that got through there, Emoji and ENCE. So PGC teams are set. This is all about promotion for PEL 2020. Who is going to be joining the likes of FaZe Clan, Na'Vi, Team Liquid, etc. They're all going to be dominating that lobby. Can 4 of these teams set their name in lights?
Currently, you're looking at 7 leading the way. They were a little flat through regular season in PEL, but at the end they showed life, and it certainly brought our attention to how they would fare coming into this, and they've certainly stepped up quite substantially. A matter of consistency now for the rest of the teams. You can't get past Tempest's first day. That was phenomenal, but day 2, a little quiet in comparison. As the desk said, as I'm sure we will be saying, it's now a matter of finding a little bit more form throughout. You need one good day now to supplement that previous day that maybe you did okay in, to be able to put yourself at least somewhat securely towards the top.
That's it. I mean, their one mighty day was instantly matched by 7s yesterday. And speaking of 7, center mast for this circle, deep south, and seeing how the algorithm may well have been adjusted somewhat, we don't really know. Ordinarily, we'd see this circle and say, oh, well, it's probably going towards where Sadovnik is right now, that sort of field area with a couple of compounds around there. It's where the circle tend to venture towards. But honestly, I wouldn't write off Los Higos right now.
Look, it's anyone's game if you're looking at the circle play here. But let's look at the teams who are quite likely and what scenario they're sat in. My eyes instantly go to the likes of DA and GamerLegion. 2 very well-known teams coming out from the PEL. They got down towards the bottom 4, of course, hence this scenario. For them here, they have good circle position. They can play it how they want. I'm seeing a BeautflDeath game very close by towards PG18, so I'm wondering if he scouted that correctly. Otherwise, he will probably be punished. PG18 yesterday had a much better performance. Maybe not in necessarily positioning the whole time, not necessarily finishing in first, but the kills were getting there, they were getting more confident, and this is the engagement I was curious about. There's actually no rest for the wicked here because of what the Wanderer's right there, and that's a big loss instantly for DA, and a big pickup for PG18, needing a confidence boost and certainly some points to boot, considering in the contenders, they were the contender. They were the team to look at. They were the team leading the way, so already a heavy loss for one of the 2 teams that really in this circle should have been doing well. GamerLegion, the other side of the coin. Again, had good moments in PEL, but then fizzled away, dropped the ball at the end, put themselves in this situation, and they've not really come out swinging just yet.
Yeah, they're feeling the Eastern Erangel circles have cost them a bit, and Miramar's never really been their strong point throughout, but we'll see what they can do, and Sanok as well. Joker's way up north, but going back to D8, I mean, he had no helmet, no vest. He obviously dropped around ToWzErA and instantly tried to center up for the team to find themselves a position. Clearly not realizing that PG18 had gone down here. Obviously, they're slightly out of position for themselves, so a bit of a mistake to just drive in there, especially the fact that he's just been shot at as well.
Correct. My eyes then turn towards ENCE, for example. Looking at SKUIJKE, very southern position. Also, quite a clear rotation route for the rest of ENCE, under the assumption they don't go too near to Los Leones. They can get good position on this, and they're currently, what, in 7th? So well within the chance of being able to get that good day going.
Yeah, this kind of goes to what I remember watching. Toby was doing the analyst bit on that weird G2 game. I'll go back to it in a second, because we're just seeing bjorN, who's on his own. Yeah, he's getting pushed by Tempest here, so he's got to bail out, and that's what he's doing. Hasn't really got the support. The rest of GamerLegion are kind of close by. Hamster's in a vehicle heading this way, but Tempest are going to pull up on this compound. bjorN's gone to the far side of it. There's Fexx from range, just trying to put some damage, but look at the distance. You're not really supporting too much from there. A little bit greedy in the split there. bjorN has got out safely, it seems, with the back of the hills.
Perfect.
And can head over to Hamster.
Yeah, good mentality to peel off from that, not just stick it out and try and be scared in there.
I want to go back to what I was talking about with ENCE, though. It kind of doesn't work-ish at the moment, because Airstation Mike on your screen are about to rotate around them. But as he was talking about this whole section, you remember that G2 game where they won it, and they had like one guy over here, another one over, Chris was over here, another one was randomly over there, and it's because, like you said, it's like this big area they had. They could just pendulum back and forward between it because there was absolutely nobody. So they had this whole area covered. ENCE are almost semi-doing that at the moment. I think it's more just a case of SKUIJKE's out of position from the rest of the team. They're all coming, just sort of getting in the center spot.
Yeah, and I like the way you describe that as the pendulum play almost. You look at teams like FaZe, for example, I think when they have a position that allows for that, they play it very well. That flex back and forth, they'll use that one man as their kind of point to go back and forth to if required. And
I want to hit the point we talked about yesterday, Airstation Mike, until Wanderer comes with GamerLegion. Okay, go back to Airstation Mike, because I managed to get to speak to him at all. Obviously, we asked the desk to explain how and why they could have played it better.
Yeah.
And the full reasoning is that I think it was ToWzErA and Jazza. They're normally the aggressors. They're normally the ones that get to go forward and find the position. But the problem is they were on the back, so on the other side, so they couldn't move into the circle because they were on the back holding. They were kind of. They said it was just a massive misplay, and we should have just pushed it. We watched it back. We should have just pushed that ridge, which is exactly what we were saying. They need to push the ridge. If you look at, say, if it was Team Liquid would have had 4 people just on the ridge. It's as simple as that, and they said that they immediately said, "Yeah, we should have gone to the ridge."
Yeah, and for me, I think looking back, and I think it definitely stood out to me, is that they had the utility to do so. For them, it was probably very frustrating to watch it back and go, "We were probably 30 seconds, 20 seconds into a misplay there. That was it." But that's the difference in these games.
It costs them. Yeah,
it can be a matter of a couple of seconds.
As soon as that circle shifts and you make there's just a small error, even if it's just a case of you run over it, you accidentally like reverse and you back into someone, knock a teammate. It's just suddenly costs you 30, 40 seconds, and that's everything when it comes to that rotate input time.
You think about it, that's enough, more than enough for teams to be able to set up position, hold the entry points. It stops you having that kind of jump off position. We do see a little bit of an outskirt chance of an engagement. Tempest getting a knock there on Digger, but again, I don't see a flush yet.
Long range.
Yeah, a bit of range to it. There's the flush though, so that's a good point in the pocket. This is nice.
Again, from there, look where they are.
I'd be pretty frustrated if I was quick maths with that loss there. You're suddenly going, how has that happened? But again, let's turn our eyes elsewhere, because it's not just that fight. That was at range, but it also certainly shows things here, certainly shows positioning, and Clib gets instantly replied upon. Unity are knocking at the door. This is range engagements. Normally, you don't see flushes. That's why it was quite surprising on the last one, but now with context, it makes sense, because they're in these buildings where normally you can kind of crawl back, get some cover, get the revive, and you're perfectly okay. Bit of a setup here between the Jokers and Tornado Energy, both very close by on this far western side, still trying to get some sort of comfort in the circle.
Yeah, it didn't really work out. Jokers kind of a little caught, but looks like Tornado Energy are going to blast on through, so the camp has kind of backfired. I think Alia may well still be without a vehicle and kind of pinned. The rest of the team have abandoned him and carried on into the circle position, almost getting ahead. There are 2 other Jokers members further down the line, and that is DeBoom. That is also catching example of Melman out here. Trying to, is he really?
He's off ski.
He's going to say they've pulled up because he realizes,
Oh, he's lucky. He's a lucky boy. Gonna do the moves. Get out of there, pop that nose down and try and get to some sort of cover, because Tornado Energy are peppering away, of course. They're not getting the shots they need out. So it looks like he might have made it into safety, and he has. And there comes the covering fire from Moon. And that's not without answer itself. But this is one of those where both of them now are hindering each other's progress towards any better positioning. They're going to be forced to play maybe an outskirts game, hope for a hard shift, and work under that assumption. You can look at the vast majority of the teams on the map stream here. They are going to be sat between kind of Los Leones and that southern coast, purely because it will move away from water, and it should move away from the big city. So they're playing the smart game. That's why the big cluster is around this sort of area where kind of your 7 are, who were very close to center circle, so they got pick of the litter wherever they wanted to go.
I've got to be honest, I don't know whether it will pull away from cities now.
I'm
questioning reality right now. We'll see where it goes. Okay, we're back to normality now.
Yep, there we are.
So now the Tempest compound that they managed to take over the church sort of area in Atla it's very strong. Is it the church center? It's the smaller compounds, right? Yeah. So yes, I think you're right. GamerLegion have got it, and they're going to head on down the north side. North. It's effectively the south of ToWzErA, but it's the high point of ToWzErA is available. So I'm expecting maybe Jokers to sort of edge over that way. DA, they're looking for a new home.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some teams maybe lose out on players on rotations here because they're all opting for that very centralized area. No one's really want to play outskirt games. This is going to be cut into 2 halves. You have the north portion and the south portion. Teams who simply are too late.
In between.
Exactly. Teams who are simply too late to make it over there to traverse that. And actually, no, it's not the church. I've lied to you all. This is just an overlooking compound. Fair enough. Outside of that, though, this is going to be a very divisive game in the way the map's going to be split up by that road, by that hillside coming out of the western approach. There's going to be a little bit of an area that simply teams won't go for. So this is going to be a little bit busier than expected. And we are seeing those engagements consistently happening. And there's a team knock.
It's literally splitting the lobby, right?
Yes.
Splitting the thing, a 50-50. So if it swings north or swings south, there's going to be a lot of teams that are in trouble. We'll see how it works out with Inside Gaming still sitting on the far eastern side, the edge of Los Leones, effectively where we've seen it pull too many times. You know what? Since yesterday, I was sussing that we had some Phase 1 circles. I'm going to say this goes to sort of the road area by Quick Math and Tempest. We've seen it finishing. There's that ditch area where Quick Math are in right now. And there's a compound just the other side. I distinctly remember DA and somebody else holding both those compounds, and it sort of went to that road before. I'm going to see whether it goes the same way.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on it. Again, it feels like we're relearning how this circle seems to work. And it's
I love it. New algorithms,
absolutely,
bring them on.
Absolutely. Whatever's changed, it's brought us some brilliant diversity in these circles and terrain. We've had some wonderful games so far.
TSM and DA, these compound, I remember it.
Yes, on the opposing side almost. Yeah. So this is the roll down from Los Leones. You can see it off in the distance there. And of course, verticality comes into play. You'll have teams with higher ground like Unity. You can see down this hillside, so they might be able to get some favorable fights. Maybe a knock or two, get people burning through their utility, get them burning through their armor. Again, this is something we don't often see, but it's a feeling you have when you're a player in this, is when you're fighting, your vest is down to absolutely nothing, your helmet's broken, you're one shot away from that reset on it. There's the church we were looking for. It was on the other side of it, we just didn't see it on the camera shot. So they have a big position here. Very, very advantageous.
Yeah, I was wondering whether it was them. I thought maybe they were nearby, so they have just got in
Get
there.
off the pews.
It gives them, I mean, especially if someone is up in the top.
Oh, this could be a mistake. If they've... He needs to be quite careful here. Fake is very close by. That should be a confirmed kill, and it is. Swiftly dealt with. Flush to follow. Quite as quick as he'd like.
He'd be so angry with that, because he was midway coming up the mountain, and then obviously there was a call to reposition, so he kind of...
Someone's going to...
stopped, and that's cost them. Whatever call, whatever situation... It's cost them. Whatever information came out there. At this stage, to be making rotations, you're basically pulling into teams. So, last crew lose 2. Train hard, look to have a knock, and that's on the mountain.
North or south? I feel it's going north.
So where Train Hard is, this is what we're talking about. So where Train Hard is, that's the big mountain we're talking about. So everyone's sort of splitting this north-south. So obviously, because it's gone to north, GamerLegion in that church area, all these teams that are committed to the south or stuck to the south now have some very, very tricky rotations. They're sending it for ditches.
And here comes the point where you have to try and hedge your bets. Okay, probably going to move away from ToWzErA, or at least shift east of it. So the teams will look north and east here, potentially taking over the south, but there's already teams in the south, so opting for longer rotations might be a viable option here.
I didn't notice that DA was center.
Of course they are. Of course they are. It's DA.
They lost 2 members, 1 member early on, and they're still center, and they get a crate given to them. It's all Man, does SIXMO know where this circle's going every time? I don't know. Good lord.
He's a smart boy. Now, can they hold on to it?
Oh,
That's
look
the
at
big
this.
thing.
ENCE
Yep.
and last crew basically
hold on,
rotating
Orange.
together.
He's in a world of trouble. IG are using the low ground to get very close by. He better be prepared. Yeah, hits the deck. Must have heard the steps coming in. And Zampeak might be caught off guard. Oh, did he see the helmet? He has.
Yeah.
Really nice approach. Very refined. Good work from IG inside games there to be that cautious, that well refined on approaching that situation where easily you could have lost a player and maybe been flushed there needlessly.
Well, Strolovac having a fantastic day yesterday.
What a player.
And Pixel had that big game. That was with the barrel, right, on the Stauber Hills. Last crew down to 2, and well, no, that ditch is not going to be the place you want to stop. The Danes are in a little bit of trouble here, and you can see it's a bit of a red zone as they're slowly forced away. Luckily, they've managed to shrink away from that one. They've avoided most of the damage so far. 7. How many nades they got?
A great deal, apparently. And PG-18 are trying to get the fight building. And that could be a pickup here. Morpheus is very low already, so if that car blows, yeah, get out and try and do something. It's holding on and praying your teammates can get an angle to cover you off. Instantly, that's going to slow down the Wanderer. He can no longer get that fight building. But Jazza comes in with the shots from afar.
That's a third. Airstation might start to collect some points here, and they absolutely need it. They're down in the bottom 4. Collect what they can from this one. D's confirmed as well, so he's down as well. So Tornado Energy putting pressure on them. Back over on the east side, Unity and Inside Gaming still under pressure. Inside Gaming, they've already taken down Orange, and now they're putting pressure on towards Snoopy and on it.
I want to see how they get around that because they're walking over a hillside into a pre-established position that Unity hold. Very tricky for them to come around, and they need to because they're not in the circles. They might have to just kind of
It's a 2v4
scrap
though.
that plan and move around in the vehicles for better position later on. Example, though, going to go for the Wanderer.
Yeah, they're going for it. They're going in cars.
Yeah.
Oh, and they've lost one in the rotate. Seniks goes down. Zampeak
They
as
pulled up on
well.
this.
They tried to pull up, but I don't know whether, with the hill the way it is, I don't know whether the approach straight down the hill would have been better, but clearly it's obviously easy for us to look at hindsight as it is. Just one man standing is Snoopy for Unity. And I think Pixel has got one more with him, right?
Yeah, he's still standing.
He needs
I don't
it.
know if he's there, though, if he's that close by. No, I think he's dealing with other problems on other sides. Might be trying to get a revive elsewhere or just had to readjust accordingly. Circle moved, and it has gone to the east. Not too surprising. I think we were kind of expecting it to shift away from the city slightly there. And again, this plays well in towards Tempest and GamerLegion. And Quick Maths, don't overlook them just because they lost out on players. They're still in a very good position in the north. Not very many people contesting it. And there goes Recrent. Again, poor performance from PG-18. I thought we saw good signs of life yesterday. Day before was a little flat, but that's not how you want to come back in. This south side could get very busy here between ENCE, 7, Last Crew, Tempest, IG, Unity. All of them are quite close by.
Where's Giganten going to go? I honestly, they're in the far side of this. They're trying to rotate. They're going to go for a deep rotate again. So almost mirroring what Airstation might be doing. They've hit the road at the moment, gone south, but that's going to bring them straight around in towards Last Crew and ENCE, etc. Very crowded down there. Northern Lights crashing onto GamerLegion. Immediate pull up, and they get Maccandark instantly.
That's a massive pickup too. If you're GamerLegion, you probably don't expect teams to go for this as, you know, handedly as they have, but they're pushing it. They've committed fully. Fexx needs to try and fall back if he can. bjorN's trying to cover him off, does make it in towards the church, shuts the door, has none of that anymore. But now they have to be on alert. They're sharing this, and that is not what you want for the church.
Yeah, they don't want to be together with them. I'm just wondering whether the Jokers are maybe going to do the same. It looks like Train Hard tried to find another way through, but that's not worked out. Nades traded back and forth between these two teams. We were talking about Airstation Mike down the south. They have been caught and embroiled by ENCE, it seems. You can see they got the one knockdown there, but ENCE now have their number. They're in the vehicles. They're sending it. They're going straight towards Last Crew. Keep your eyes on the map at the moment. They're going to try and work their way in. Phantom, he's been picked off. He's done. Mitraleius will steal that kill away, and Last Crew find themselves in trouble as Airstation Mike surround them. Giganten will be coming in behind them as well. This is all in the south. You can see it in the far distance right now.
Yeah, that'll be happening. Solo trying to make a play, and that's a bit of a stalemate in the church. It's very hard for both those teams to make something happen unless there's a nade or a knock that comes in very quickly. If you see that, then they'll jump off. But Mitraleius still going to keep the fire going towards Tornado Energy. Then M249, why not? You've got plenty of bullets on it too. Threed up, out of his mind, having a good time.
Pre-nade that.
Hell yeah, why not?
That's a hell of a range. I'm going to say, what kind of arm do you think you got there, Mitraleius? Trying to pre-nade and put some pressure on him. Kompost's going to back away. And Tornado Energy now repositioned. And we're seeing really the hardness between the south and the north side. Like, all these teams from the south trying to work their way in. Nobody has successfully got there yet. Everyone has died. So far, from all these southern teams, it is a nightmare for them. And now you're seeing Giganten go down. They pull it right next to Airstation. Mike, 7 are stealing the kills away as well. And KnorkiS, the last man standing. It's horrible for everyone. I think Airstation Mike's really the only team that's hung on, and they're now under fire.
Yeah, they're barely holding on as well. They're already having that kind of back and forth with ENCE. It was a little bit more tempered than this one, but then as you highlighted, ELGIGANTEN didn't have that approach. They were a little bit behind Airstation Mike, so for them, they are left with just one. Maybe they can try and make a little something out of it, stay alive, get a couple of flushes. That's the dream at this point.
They're literally grasping at straws for any sort of territory to play with the circle. Will it shrink to the north? I'm expecting to go northeast myself. No, it
oh my god, he
up.
missed the nade and it killed him.
That was like splash damage, or what was that? It got him. How?
I don't know. Yeah, so let's look at the new circle coming in. I'd be pissed if I watched that one back.
I'm watching the stream again. I want to see what the heck happened.
Tempest currently have a really strong position, and KnorkiS, if he gets the flush on that, brilliantly done. Lovely for him. Jazza probably frustrated with that KnorkiS has gone away with this angle, this sort of peak. Because, again, KnorkiS is probably dead if he steps out of here. Who knows who's going to kill him, but he's probably dead. So
Joker's ascending. Tab's in the north.
He needs to find somewhere. You can't go church now.
Well, they're going to go base of church, right? Yeah, they're going to the base of the church, trying to sit down there. And actually, this could work because GamerLegion can't really go out there. Northern Lights can't really go out there. Oh dear, they've tried to push on last crew and they have decimated 2 members. Hugstar's last man standing for Airstation Mike. The nade's now looking to come down from ENCE as well. Hugstar will be nading down on towards last crew as well.
Yeah, last crew barely alive. Hugstar wants that, but gets tagged up from afar. That's 7 getting that, but he did at least get the nade come through.
Ooh.
Now, Fexx just got a knock on perfect, so this could be go time, but the Jokers are still not too far off, so they can't use that other side of the hill to maybe try and creep up on it. This limits their approach. Hamster up on the roof has to be a little cautious. Don't want to get knocked on there.
Yeah, that worked out. They managed to get the one knock in. Not going to be able to confirm it, though. The nade didn't work out for them. We do see Airstation Mike going down. Everybody in the south is still in that grinder. Last crew will fall. That's going to be ENCE and 7 picking the bones off that one. And now 7, they're in trouble as well, along with Tornado Energy. They're all having to move with this blue on their backs. DA also having to shift as much as they can. They got an M249 out of that crate. But they're all coming across this wide open, bumpy terrain with not a lot to play for.
No, there really isn't, and sadly for Tornado Energy, they just lost out on the man who's probably closer to the circle. Example's way further back behind DA. DA are under fire, so you can imagine his route of approach is going to be very tough coming in from this if they do expect anyone behind them, which they may check on now they're closer to the circle. They can start being a little bit more cautious about their back. Solar still standing, but it does seem like a matter of how long. He's managed to kind of work his way in between 7 and DA, but shots coming very close towards him now.
Yeah, he's the one that killed Alias from Tornado Energy, so they know his position. Just trying to figure it out. Example still trying to heal through it as best he can.
Ooh, Perfect's right at the door. He got picked back up. This could be a bit of a push towards GamerLegion. And Example does find SIXMO, so all the way on the blue, really slowing down DA. Rough.
Did Solar benefit from this, can he? I'm wondering.
I think he was looking at it. He thought maybe he could go on that, but
oh, hello.
Northern Lights on the breach.
Trying to come through the door. Well, it's a smoky area. That's for damn sure. Oh, that's a nade I just saw pulled out. Where's that going to rattle? That could rattle around anywhere when there's many people inside. Hamster will get caught out. bjorN gets himself up on a high. So Hamster was up close. The smoke starts to clear. bjorN can't land the shot when he needed, and Spyro will get him down. And Fexx now the last man standing. Gets around the back. The AK spray, not enough. He will get the knock, but it doesn't matter. It was answered back. And Northern Lights will get the revive off. Are the Jokers going to push in it? Well, they've kind of gone ahead. They're at the base of that church still, but now Northern Lights have cleared out GamerLegion. They can look down upon them.
Yeah, turning up like Bill at a wedding, just walks in with the M249 there. That was a little bit brutal. Always going to take a church like that. SIXMO.
The reference.
I know, what can you say? SIXMO across the road, finding 7. There was a little bit of back and forth. Tempest up on the hill on Overwatch. They're going to probably claim a couple of these flushes if they can get in on them, but I think they're just holding on. ENCE about to fall towards the remainder of IG. And that's 7 losing Krabic there.
Yeah, the Finns are going to start engaging one another in and around that ridge lane, and Strelovac is going to be the last man. Vach I should say. I've got to get his name right. It's a tough one. It's a tough one for us. I'm sorry. I did ask him yesterday. Oh yeah, Nade rattles in.
Thank you, ENCE, for making our lives easier, not having to say the hard names. Appreciate
it's easy for ENCE.
Something that's not easy right now is DA trying to cross this road. They made really good progress. They opted to go for the southern approach rather than going north towards the church. Not a bad plan, but the problem is making it across here. Even with those smokes, you have so many eyes looking your way. And sadly for DA, I think this might be the end of the road for them.
So we haven't mentioned Tempest for a while here. Northern Lights are sending it. They're going across. But Tempest have had this sense of position. They're kind of watching it all play out. Now they're starting to pick the pieces up. You can see Mert just going down to Hjordan. They got another one just before that. I think Hani managed to get one. Northern Lights trying to come up. They're using all the ditches and ridges they can. QuickMath are going to engage with Jokers in the north side. And Seven, well, I think they're in kind of trouble here. You can see Sadovnik, Perfect had a little angle on him. And they are also engaging with Jokers in the north.
Yeah, they're trying to do what they can here. I like the Joker's play moving out as a unit. That's nice. QuickMath's going to hold that kind of deep side of the hill. And Spyro, they're just continuing to try and pepper towards Tab.
This is the same little hillside where EP managed to come out against M19, right? Is it that bonkers game where M19 really messed up in a 3v1 or something like that?
My brain doesn't work
I feel like
well.
it was.
ToWzErA though here. Joker's completely unaware. Set. I don't think he realizes it. That's an overhand nade, not an under. You can't see him anymore because of the Sadovnik picking up the crate. But there it is. Peak on the ridgeline. Set in a world of danger. And now is there a follow-up? ToWzErA, oh, he just gets wooded away. Moon had the angle on it, but now there's pressure building.
It's going to nade straight through as well, ToWzErA. That's going to go way, way, way too far. He got a big arm on him there. Didn't want that one. With this circle shift, though, it has gone to this hillside. So now, Tempest, Wookie's on it already. He's gone to that little shack position. ENCE are going to come in behind. They would have seen him because he went on the vehicle, and that's kind of sets a red light for everybody involved. They're still not dealt with Sadovnik either down in the backside of Tempest. So he might be a thorn in their side. Now he's just got 3'd up. And, well, Northern Lights, they have to. Joker's the ones that are going to fall now. They're getting sandwiched between QuickMath and Northern Lights.
Yeah, too many fights on too many fronts can be the downfall of even a good team, even a better team than you could argue Jokers are. For now, though, they're trying to hold on for dear life. It's a matter of how long can they. It feels like it's building, but this southern side is yet to be resolved. Tempest trying to leave the compound, and now they're going to get a lot of attention their way. We know they send it pretty madly. And, well, deep with the M249. We've got loads of those M249s up and available, or at least they were when DA had one.
Sadovnik stole it.
Exactly. Now, Tempest did get 2 members in. I think there's a revive. No, it's not going to happen. Excuse me. That has definitely been removed from the equation. As the last man, who is it? Hani there, down in the southern side. So he's the last man to come through. As Cliff just got caught off.
Yeah, this is not going well. Tempest, they made the move, and it was the right move to kind of get that position, but with everybody else collapsing in around them, it's just put them as the meat between the sandwich right now. And QuickMath, in all honesty, they've been pretty slack in dealing with the Jokers in this northern side. They got the knock, but they've allowed him to not only get revived, but they've repositioned. Look at Moon. Moon is getting that flank around, and it's put ToWzErA in a serious problem. He's had to back away now. That's allowed ENCE to get in position. And ENCE now could start picking up some serious points in this this eastern corner. Yeah,
this could be nice for ENCE if they can position well enough. If they can stay strong on the southeastern side, this could be huge for them. Points for Rustanmar in the bag, and that's 6 kills for ENCE. Let's not overlook this. They've been a quieter team to what we'd expect, and the push comes in. Northern Lights sweep around, and on the receiving end, it will be WookieBookie, and that's Tempest removed. They're done for. So now the South has found its champions, its victors. It's Northern Lights and it's ENCE, but now the Jokers and QuickMaths start to come into the matter.
Yeah, TRYFFELI and miikaz, they've immediately gone towards the ditches. Who was that was flanking over for Northern Lights? ENCE and Northern Lights, last time they clashed, Northern Lights came out much better off. But this time, they've got to watch it. Perfect is about to get run over. 2 people from ENCE pushing over. SKUIJKE gets the knockdown there. Rustanmar with him. The 2 highest fraggers from Phase 1 doing some work. Rustanmar can get the revive off, but Spyro's making a quick push.
Yeah, but Spyro really needs to be speedy on this one because ENCE have the circle position. They can leave these 2 players to be the stopgap between Northern Lights and approach to the circle on the east. TRYFFELI and miikaz can then just hold the position, but there's the third party. Even worse now for Spyro. He had a shot at it. Oh, if he underhands that nade. Oh my god.
No, it's dribbled.
Oh, he's a lucky man. Both Rustanmar and SKUIJKE would have probably been dead to rights there otherwise.
Back down the other side. Northern Lights fighting both areas. Deep with the M249. Oh, he's got such a tight angle on SKUIJKE and Rustanmar. They're kind of pinned.
They are, but again, Northern Lights still need to move themselves, so it's this kind of stalemate.
TRYFFELI's coming back to help him out.
You're hoping TRYFFELI and miikaz can get an angle to help them to dig deep out of this angle that he had on them, and it looks like he's turning the other way. This is Northern Lights have no idea where to go. They've looked at ENCE, gone, not sure about that, and now they're looking at the Jokers. They have no avenue.
Jokers have all pulled all 4 members back to Okbro. TabZ about to breach over that hillside. They have got the knock onto Rustanmar. They can flush it out as well. TabZ tries to get and steal it away. Spyro confirms it. SKUIJKE goes down as well. And just like that, ENCE lose 2. They're also fighting, but they've got to turn around. The Jokers are right upon them, and they've just left it too late. Moon will come in, and the Jokers flush down Northern Lights.
Yeah, they went for the frag out option, which might have been their best one, which was opt to try and take out those 2 ENCE plays before the Jokers turned up. Now, 3 teams left. Quickmaths control the north and the ridgeline. That's all theirs. The Jokers have numbers, though. That's a big factor. And ENCE quietly now down in the southern side with merely 2 players.
This ridgeline, though, for the Jokers is disappearing fast. Now we see, obviously, Phase 8. Center point is kind of where Petsy is, so it's kind of helpful for Quickmath. The problem is, what sort of position? He's trying to nade out ENCE. Ooh, that's not a bad one, you know. Just trickling past him, but he's kind of the solo anchor man. If they lose him, ENCE are going to have a massive angle on Quickmath.
ENCE, Lenzo, and Jupsik have to be so aware, and they're not. The Jokers just fold on the hillside. They want to keep the pressure on now. They need to push this, and TabZ knows that. Really big play from TabZ. Good aggression. A trade does come in, but it's only a 1-man. They need more than that.
Land.
Yeah, and now ENCE need to move on this as well. They know the fight's happening. You want to be the third party to the fight. Try and do what you can. Take that central point. Nice work from TRYFFELI to turn up with miikaz, but now can they take on the Jokers?
They've left themselves with 0 cover here. They have to take the open fights. TRYFFELI's going to be the man that holds back at the tree. Jokers, meanwhile, are going to push around the side. It's a straight-up 2-on-2. Moon and TabZ trying to go for who's going to breach over the hill first side. TRYFFELI looks to the left-hand side. 8 kills and counting for them. TabZ finds the shot onto miikaz. It's TRYFFELI, last man standing. We're down to a 1-on-1. TRYFFELI looking towards Moon. Gets a smallest of tags. 8 bullets remaining. Goes for the reload.
But the Blues coming in. Moon's got a bit of a time limit on this. TRYFFELI is center on the circle. miikaz can go look and try and help him on the info, but the shots need to land. TRYFFELI holds it down. He wants aggression. The man's gone mad. 15 bullets to make the play, and he delivers it when it's required. ENCE just finally look like the Finns we've desperately missed.
That was what we saw from Phase 1. I feel like the circles are going that way. Maybe ENCE will go that way. The Finns step up. I spoke to TRYFFELI earlier on, asking him what the hell has been happening, where's it all going wrong, and he says, I don't know, we're starting to feel it, starting to feel a little better, so maybe that's just the confidence to kick them on here at the halfway stage to get ENCE back into the PEL.
They were starting out in 7th today. That was a win and a good load of kills. Big moves there for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much needed. It was a 2-2. It was often what we've seen from ENCE throughout the last 2 phases. Kind of worked out for them, and I think Paul is down there with them.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I have just run down here because they're all the way down the other end of the arena. miikaz, another win for you, and a great start to day 3. You really needed that today.
Yeah, I mean, now we're probably gonna be bumped at like 4th or 3rd or something, so it feels good now. Be back on there.
In terms of the first 2 days, how would you rate your performance overall?
I think first day we didn't make too many mistakes. It's rather hard circles and stuff, but on yesterday we had especially on Sunhawk and was it first Erangel or the first Erangel we had a few problems that could have gained us way many more points. So it feels kind of bad in that sense, but it's a good start now.
Yeah, it's okay today. In terms of the players that you're playing against and the teams you're playing against, is it what you expected or is it harder?
Kind of what we expected. You just need to gain the control and just don't get any respect to enemies and just move your way in the circle.
Okay. And in terms of the top 4, obviously that's the aim, is to finish in the top 4. Do you spend too much time thinking about that today, or is that tomorrow?
No, I don't think we have really thought about that yet, because we just focus our own game and play and see where that goes. So.
Well, thank you very much. ENCE are our first winners of day number 3, more than halfway through now as these boys try and get back to the PEL.
First chicken dinner from ENCE, and that is the gameplay that we've been expecting from this team for I don't know how long.
I mean, yeah, we saw excellent rotations, excellent executions, and the timing, of course. One big thing to take away that we were discussing a little bit about towards the end there was TRYFFELI's push there towards Moon, the last kill. In a normal PEL, like during the phase itself, if that was a PEL player and not Moon, that player would have kept on peeking all the time. But as me and Avenger was saying, that TRYFFELI got to 2 tags on him, on Moon.
2 or 3 at least.
Yeah, and from that, he made the decision, I need to go aggressive before he heals up and just go for it.
The aggressive play, we saw this from the start of this from all the teams though, obviously well aware now that you need to get points on the board. Far more aggressive pace in this particular matchup.
Yeah, we saw early on Tempest, for example, they wanted to get their compound. We saw him play that compound until the end, and because of that, they knew this is what we want to go for. We're going to go early. We're going to take out, there's not going to be more than 1 or maybe 2 players. People split a lot in the beginning. They know that. So they take advantage of it. By crashing them, full force, everybody.
How do you do this though? Do you play now at the second half of promos week, knowing there's 4 spots? Do you jump in, go hunting, every engagement you can get, because potentially that's points on the board, and try and fight it out? Or do you do the push at the end game?
For me, like, there's 2 types of play styles here that is like a viable play to get you to the top 4. There's going for a steady amount of points in every game. This is one of the strats that GamerLegion is trying, for example, where you're saying, okay, we want an average of 6 to 4, 4 to 6 to maybe sometimes 8 points every game to make sure, and then sometimes we'll have a great game. And then there's the other kind of teams where we've seen Tempest like it is, they go for the winning play. And if they fail at it, fair enough, we will get 2-3 points there. But if we manage to pull this off, we're going to get a 15+ point game. And especially here for ENCE, some of the plays they're doing is, especially here, you see they're going for the winning play. They want to make sure that they get into a spot where they can win from, especially from late game.
It's a risk versus reward.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Tempest, one of the teams, for example, they know we want to play from this compound. This is how we want to win the game. We know this is worth the risk, and they take that risk.
PG18, we see them there on the results board, down at the bottom again. Finished in top spot in Contenders. What is the difference between playing on LAN and online?
I mean, there's a lot of differences to it. But right now, they are a little bit aggressive, and it's not working for them. Now, that's when you need to start thinking, is this the right gameplay for us right now, or should we just back off, be a little bit more passive, and think about what we're doing?
It's the first time we got to see the Jokers. What did you think of their play in that game?
That was really good. We saw them doing really good rotation, especially towards the end, when they took north side off the church on the down of the dip there, because they knew that NLT and GamerLegion was by the church and they were fighting. No one's gonna bother them. If they start peeking out from up there, they're the ones who's gonna die. At the other hand, they had QuickMap east of them, but they took control over the ridgeline, making sure that QuickMap couldn't really get to them quick enough.
Yeah, and especially Moon's spot were held down QuickMap, so they couldn't push and sweep around them. And then also, like, when Joker's third-party NLT as well, like, that was just perfect awareness that keeping one player back, making sure that QuickMap is not going to push up with them and get NLT out and get the points. So it's just well played by them overall.
You heard in the interview ENCE mentioning that they don't really think about the results. They're not looking at the standings. They're not looking at the points. You've both played professionally. Is that true?
That's the mentality you need to have, you want to have. You want to reset yourself after every game. It doesn't matter even if you win big. If you start going with that, you might start getting sloppy. If you get sloppy, you're going to make mistakes. Making mistakes will lose you the games.
Yeah, it's the right mindset, but it's hard not to focus on. And there's some teams that are very aware of the leaderboard and very aware of how you should play, and like trying to play versus the leaderboard, playing versus the teams as well. But here, like as Frost said, you should 100% reset. You should make sure you go into every single game, fresh mindset, no emotions from past games. Get everything out of the way before you start into the next game.
Looking at the standings at this point in the competition, still all open.
Still all open. I mean, it's anybody's games, but it also comes down to nobody's consistent enough right now. Everybody's up and down all the time, so because of that, it's all open for anyone.
It's the race for getting around the 150, 160 points, because that's where you're 100% safe. At this point, Tempest on 88 is looking good. ENCE is going to jump into the top 4 with this. They're going to be sitting at 81 points in third place. But GamerLegion, Airstation, they're 50 points in 14th and 15th place. With a great game, they can jump up into the top 5 and be within reaching distance for the next game as well. Like, it's so open still. It's going to come down to the last game again. It's insane.
You don't really need to have just one good game. You can just have a few decent ones as well. That's going to put you up there. Just make sure you don't have the bad games. Don't have the 0, 1 to 2 points. Those are the ones who's going to hurt you in the long run here.
It's still all to play for, and we're halfway through the competition. Don't forget, if you have any questions for the desk or the casters, make sure you tweet us using the hashtag AskPEL, and we'll try answer them probably after the next 2 maps or so. And in the interim, I want to introduce you to a team. They finished second in Contenders. Every so often over the last 2 days, we've seen them show moments of brilliance. Let's find out a little bit more about Inside Games.